off and I'm done. I'm gonna put a string on you. When you left your office, is this where you came?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I might add for a good purpose.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bob DeRuntz, and I am a longtime volunteer for Project Neighbors. And on behalf of Project Neighbors, we would like to thank all of you for coming out today to help us celebrate this incredible milestone in the construction of the crossing. Now, as you can see, the crossing is not quite finished yet. The parking lot has not been paved, the landscaping hasn't been planted, and when you come into the crossing today, and we invite you inside on a tour, explore the building upstairs and down, you'll see that most of the flooring is yet to be installed, the countertops and trim still need to be finished, and the doors need to be hung. But we are not here today to celebrate the completion of a construction checklist. We are here today to celebrate the incredible progress that we have made in building the crossing for our community. We're here to celebrate the incredible people who have been involved in so many different ways to make the crossing a reality. And we're here to celebrate the fact that 23 people will very soon call the crossing home. Now, you may not know this, but Project Neighbors has been building homes for folks in need of a place to live in Valparaiso for nearly 50 years, led by incredible people like Paul Schreiner, who is here in the audience somewhere today. And for 20 years before that, two other incredible people. If you knew Walt and Loie Reiner, they started the Valparaiso Builders Association in the 1960s. And they did just the same, and it would morph into Project Neighbors in the 1980s. So at the crossing here, for 50 years, Project Neighbors has been building these homes to give people a place to live. And when you come into the crossing today, we want you to know that despite the fact that the crossing is not quite finished, there is a model unit that has been virtually completed thanks to Dean Birky, our project manager. Our subcontractors and our volunteers went all out this week to finish one of the units to be a model unit to give you an idea of what all 23 units will very soon look like when we invite our neighbors in. And holding the grand opening today is perfect, because despite the fact that we're not completely finished, it allows us to open the crossing to the community so you can come inside, see the progress we've made, how close we are to finishing, and we can do all of this without disturbing the peace and the privacy and the sense of ownership that our residents will have when they do make the crossing their home. So again, we want to thank you, our community, for coming out today to see everything that we truly have done together. We want to thank our sponsors, and I know Susannah will be mentioning them by name later, who helped put this event on. We want to thank Dean Birky. I'll introduce Dean here in a moment, and he'll say a few moments, but Dean Birky and our subcontractors have done incredible work for us. I also see in the audience a lot of the executive board of Project Neighbors and our executive director, Carmen Vincent, who has done so much involved in every step of the way here at the crossing. And our donors. We have had so many people for over 50 years be so very generous to support the work that Project Neighbors does for our community. We just had a new donor come on with a $50,000 donation to not only help us finish this project for the community, but to also lead us into the future on our next projects, because we are by no means done. But what's incredible to consider is that 10 months ago, this was an empty gravel lot, less than a year ago. And by far, this is the largest project that Project Neighbors has ever done. Project Neighbors typically builds single-family homes, renovates them, builds them, duplexes. But this is a 10,000 square foot, 23-unit studio apartment building built for veterans, women, and men in our community, and other folks in need of a place to call home. And that's what we've all done together, is we've built 23 homes for our neighbors. But there is one group, last but not least, that I certainly want to identify, and those are our incredible volunteers. You could have driven by the crossing Monday through Friday and you would have seen cars here. On Saturday, you would have seen cars here. And many of those cars were the people in our community who just decided, I'm going to go help make a difference. On some Saturdays, we had 5 people here. And by God, we advanced the work and we got stuff done. But there were Saturdays that we had 50 volunteers here coming out of the woodwork in our community to want to chip in and help complete the crossing. And it was so very, very inspiring. So I'm going to ask that all of our volunteers who are here today, whether you work 2 hours or whether you work 20 days, could you all please stand up and let us give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for your generosity. Volunteers, before you leave today, there is a table in the front that is full of hammers. Thanks to the generosity of Ontobels and Simcoe Signs, we've prepared hammers for you to take home with you today. And may those hammers always be a reminder of the difference that you made in helping to build the crossing that will make a difference for generations to come in our community. And may it always be an inspiration as to what's possible when community serves community. So thank you very much. Another round of applause for all of our volunteers. Well, try to imagine the logistical challenge of building the crossing. Try to imagine managing the rain. Try to imagine managing all of the subcontractors. Try to imagine managing the rain. Try to imagine managing all of the volunteers. And try to imagine again managing the rain. And this has all been done by Dean Birky, our project construction manager, who we've been working so closely with since last August when we poured the foundation. Dean Birky is incredibly good at what he does, and Dean Birky is a really good man. So Dean Birky, come on up and you say a few words for us.
Keep this. There we go. Last time I had a microphone in my hand, it cost me $35,000. Weddings. But anyway, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I never know quite where to put this. Hey, I want to let you know that 20 years ago this September, Paul Schreiner approached me about putting a kitchen in on Union Street. And from there we developed a relationship, a friendship, a brotherhood. I didn't understand what was going on at the time. He spoke of the mission, he spoke of his mission, and I asked him, why do you do this? And he said, I want a safe, warm home for mothers and their children. And that made a big impact on me. And we have been good buddies ever since. We butted heads, we worked things out, we kept going. He's the chief and I'm the commissioner, and it's been a good run. So yesterday I had an opportunity to visit with Paul just a little bit, and he said, you know what, I'm retired now. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna go to Maine, I'm gonna go to Utah. And I said, what about the gas prices? What about all that driving? He said, Jane and I got it worked out. We get tired, we just put the car in cruise control and jump in the back seat and take a nap. And that would be Paul. But anyway, I'm just going to give you a little timeline on how things happened here. And it's all from memory. We had a foundation release early in the year. We had a late winter. We had to get a NITCO line moved that went from that house to that pole, went right through the end of this building. That took 14 weeks. So by July 1st, they pulled the machine in here, excavator, and started digging this hole. By that was July 1st. By July 27th, we had a foundation. So I gave the all clear to the excavator to go ahead and let's get the foam liner on the foundation, let's get it backfilled. I called for an inspection, and Bob, the inspector, said, "You don't have a permit." And I thought, what happened? Well, we were waiting on the state release. And he was gracious enough to say, "I can see enough, you're good, but don't do anything else until that permit gets here." We didn't, after Shive had to deal with the state for weeks upon weeks, we got that permit on August 18th. September 1st, we got all the groundwork in for the plumbing underground. We got our water lines in from the city. We dug all the footings for all the load-bearing walls, all the load-bearing footings. So that was on about September 11th. It rained every other day for 2 weeks. We finally got our floor on the first floor poured in one day, 10 trucks of concrete. Don Stamps came in and did that. Poured it in one day, 5,000 feet. On the 7th of October, the first semi rolled in with wall panels. At that point, the framers rolled in 7 days. We had it, the main part of the building sheeted, the roof, with the exception of the porches to go. Windows and doors went in, roof got shingled. On November 10th, it snowed 2 inches. We were locked up, closed in, and out of the weather. Brick got started before Thanksgiving. Brick got finished in between middle of December. And from there it was game on all the way. The volunteers, the donors, the vendors, the subcontractors, the sweat equity volunteers, everybody threaded in at the right time. And I made a comment to Jeff Lewis, "I'm the blind hog that keeps finding acorns." And he kind of laughed about that. But, you know, in reality, what it is everybody that got here had the right heart. God touched their heart, got them here when they needed to be here. It was seamless. I mean, I don't know what else to chalk it up to. It went so well, no mistakes, everybody full of joy. Fellowship was great. So that's what all you guys did. The volunteers, the donors, is what built this building. I got to be around everyone that was here every day, and magnificent things happened. We had the building trades come over for 4 months. That was a real cool experience for me. So to reflect on my youth a little bit, I worked on the farm. I worked on the construction site when I was a kid. And you had all these old guys giving you advice. But the one that was most profound was my grandfather. Sorry. He said all you had to do is go to work, keep your head down, take care of your family. And you don't understand this stuff till you get older, what it means. Your family goes from immediate family to extended family to friends. And for me, it's went into community now. And all these people I've met, it's amazing. He said, "Get start over tomorrow. Don't forget what happened the day before." He said that sow good seed, you'll have a good harvest. You all have sown great seed. There's your harvest. And the harvest is everyone that's got a roof over their head, 23 more people. And that's really important. The other thing he said is we're all one catastrophic event away from nothing. I experienced that in person last weekend, 2 weeks ago today. I saw helplessness, I saw vulnerability, I saw fear. Friday morning, I saw a seed being sown. You come back out of it. All it is one kernel, and at the end of that kernel is your hand. I just encourage all of you to just keep doing what you're doing. We can make a difference. We're making a difference. I've enjoyed the time I've had with Project Neighbors. I was kind of hoping Paul would take me along on his journey, but I don't think we can be in a car together that long. So, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for being my friends. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dean. Well, early on this project, when I was speaking with Harley Snyder and Paul Schreiner, we were speaking about how essential it was that we do what we can to help house those who have served us in the military. And bringing into this project the component of making a portion of the housing at the crossing set aside for veterans, we thought it was essential that we reach out to the American Legion. And I won't forget being at the city council meeting when it was time to rezone this land, and the American Legion was there to speak so eloquently about how it was important that we do what we can to serve our veterans. So Mike Bottom from the American Legion, I invite you to come on up and say a few words.
All right, folks, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm with the American Legion Post 94 right here. Behind me stands $1 million and 8.5 years of work. So all of you that worked on that, Paul got me going on this, and we went there and changed things at the city council meeting when we asked for the variance. And you know what? They had no forms. They saw, we talked, and they listened, and it was perfect. So she stands right behind us. We just got to get her finished. And then we got to get 23 people in there, veterans and community people. And then after that, we still have a project, folks. This building is for low-income people, right? Well, part of them may stay here, and their demise may happen here. But as we go through all this, we need to take the people that move in that need help to get more education and more job training so that we can get them out of here, and they can go somewhere else. They can buy houses here and have families here. This building should just be a stopover for 80% of the people coming in here. And Angie, I don't know where you're at, but I'm going to pick on you. You need to have an 80% turnover here in the next 3 years, I hope, with retraining people and getting the education they need. And then we get them moving on. They can buy houses in the community and raise families and come back to help us out even more. So as we go through this, I ask everyone out there that's a part of this, whether you work on this building or not, you have a trade or something that you can pass on here. Please do that. Get our people educated, trained, and then let's get them on their way with better jobs, because that's what we're about. We're not just giving them a home. This is Project Neighbors. This is a project. We got to keep it going and maybe build another one, and then who knows? Maybe in 50 years, I'll be gone, of course, but maybe we won't need this building. You know what I mean? Everyone will have a job. That's in America world, of course, but I hope that it works that way. So I ask each one of you here today to do your best to keep this building rocking and rolling. And let's keep people coming in and people going out, because we all need it. And as July 4th comes along, I ask you to remember our veterans. Because without them, you wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, and that building wouldn't be here. So thank you very much for coming today. Enjoy the building. She's beautiful, I'm telling you right now. And Dean, one last thing I gotta say. You know what? I wouldn't have you come over and change the faucet in my house. But when it comes to something like this, you're the #1 man on my list, sir. So thank you very much. Thank all of you, and God bless America.
one aspect of the crossing that I find so inspiring is that it is government at its best. And what I mean by that is the collaboration between our city government, our county government, and our federal government. There are many aspects of what has taken place here at the crossing that the city was instrumental on. Mayor Costas will speak here in just a moment, but before Mayor Costas speaks from the city perspective, you should know this. Paul Schreiner, we keep mentioning your name for a reason. Instrumental and project neighbors for half of a century. And as Paul and I were speaking 6 years ago, we were going through COVID, and the United States federal government provided states and communities with ARPA funding to help see through the crisis and help to serve those most vulnerable in our communities. And Porter County received a good deal of funding. And in speaking with Paul about the vision of the crossing, the thought was, well, you know what? That seems like a perfect use of those funds to serve our community. So I picked Paul's brain with 1,000 questions and then put together the grant, submitted it to the county council and the commissioners, and they awarded that grant. And that $1 million is what really, on top of our generous donors as well, really got this project off the ground. So that ARPA federal funding was essential for what you see here behind us. Although Congressman Mrvan is in Washington, D.C. doing the work of a congressman, his senior advisor, Mark Lopez, is here to speak on his behalf. So, Mark.
Thank you very much. Again, as Bob referenced, Congressman Mrvan is in Washington. As Bob referenced, Congressman Mrvan is in Washington, D.C. and asked me to say a few brief remarks. What I would point out is today's celebration is an indication of I apologize. I will raise my voice. What I would like to begin my remarks on behalf of Congressman Frank Mrvan is simply, today's opportunity is an indication of what makes this country truly great. You have local community activists, organizations, and individuals come together to identify a need and provide a solution. As the gentleman from American Legion referenced, it's about that circle of services. When Frank Mrvan was a township trustee, he created that in his North Township, that if you needed assistance and support, they were there to help you. But they identified where you needed resources to remove yourself from needing their services, not because of any untoward motivation, but they knew there was someone behind you that also needed help. So when you move people from this facility to the next facility, you're able to help another individual and another family. And that's truly motivational. But we're not here because of Congressman Frank Mrvan or any one individual. I see Commissioner Regnitz here. I'm convinced that she has supported this amongst any number of other projects where you are improving and lifting up your community. And in closing, I would simply say the following. While the construction is impressive, while what got us here is impressive, what's truly impressive is what will take place within these four walls, where the services will be provided that will help individuals be transformational in their life. And with that, simply happy to be here on behalf of Congressman Frank Mrvan, happy to be here amongst so many people that care about their community. When the vote was made to support these monies, it's because we were dealing with a situation that had not been seen over 100 years. And what you have done with these monies indicates it was a wise vote. Thank you very much.
Well, Dean Birky could attest to this more than I could, but the essential collaboration between the work that Dean has led here and the different city services, from hookups to all of the coordination with the city council, with the mayor's office, have been essential for us to progress our work in a timely fashion. And the city of Valparaiso, from the council to the mayor's office, have been incredibly supportive of the work that we've done here to build the crossing. So Mayor Costas, I invite you to come on up to say a few words.
Thank you, Bob. Well, it's just such a wonderful sight to look out here and see all these people celebrating this really, really important project. And, you know, I was thinking of Loie Reiner. Many of you know her, and she, I think, exhibited the spirit of Valparaiso as much as anyone ever has. And in her final, I had a chance to sit down with her on her porch in her final couple of months, and her final ask was for the city to make a contribution on behalf of this, and we were pleased to be able to do that and to be part of this project. The other thing is Paul, another anecdote is Paul was looking for a location for this, and he was struggling a bit because he was under a time limit. And so Bill Oding from the mayor's office, city administrator, helped him find this location, which I think is a perfect location. It's a stone throw from Daybreak housing that we opened up, our homeless shelter we opened up about a year ago. And so want to thank Paul for his perseverance and Bill Oding for helping make this location, because I think it's a fantastic location. But you know, we are our brother's keeper, and I think Valpo gets that more than most communities, and it's evidenced by everybody that's here. And housing is a ladder, and the private sector provides much of the housing that's available here today, but at some point the private sector can't provide the type of housing that we're seeing here or at Daybreak. And it's so wonderful to have nonprofits like Project Neighbors, like Respite House, like Daybreak, like so many that we have in our community, stepping up and providing those rungs on the housing ladder that are so essential for all of us. And it's going to be exciting to see how many people are helped through this great project. So I just want to thank you all for being a part of this. The mayor's office and the city council was very supportive of this project, and we think it's a wonderful addition to our city, and it's going to help many, many people really for generations to come. And so thank you all for being a part of this, and look forward to seeing what's inside.
Well, as I said, Project Neighbors has been at it here in the community for nearly 50 years. And that's half a century of leadership, not just volunteers and leaders leading the work for Project Neighbors, but that takes an executive board that helps guide the organization itself. And we have here with us today to speak the granddaughter of Loie Reiner. Walt and Loie Reiner were remarkable. If you knew them, then you know what I'm talking about. Relative to making one of our focuses here, veterans, Walt Reiner served in World War II and was in the first wave at D-Day in Normandy. Loie Reiner and Walt Reiner building the Valparaiso Builders Association and then morphing into Project Neighbors. They've done so much good work for so long. So Susannah would like to speak on behalf of Project Neighbors and the executive board for the organization.
So I have a very high bar to fill with a long family legacy in the community. I have a very large and big bar to fill with the legacy that my family has built over the decades. And so I've very much willingly and humbly taken on this next chapter of Project Neighbors. I wish I know my grandma was so excited about this project. I think she helped us out with the weather today, so we can thank Loie. And I know everybody's probably melting, so I'll keep it short and sweet, and everyone can go get some ice cream, and then we can have our ribbon cutting, and we'll take you through the building. But I want to make sure that we thank all of our main sponsors today. Our event sponsor was Family Express, and they've also donated our waters and cookies today. And then we've also had all the original sponsors that have made this project possible. We've had Shive-Hattery, we've had the county ARPA funds, First Source Bank, PCCF, City of Valparaiso, and we couldn't do it without all of our subcontractors. MGJ Design and Construction, which is Dean over there. And then we've had Hutton and Sons Electric, Von Tobel's, Sunstone Construction Company, Hines Plumbing, Ryan Fire Protection, Stewie Masonry, Quality Gutters, Nason's Appliance, EGOF Coats Excavation, and Foundation Building Materials and Kent Companies. We've also had several private donors who have given both this year and many years, and we've continued to get more and more as everybody finds out. So we encourage everybody to help share the story that has been so close in our community and just continue to support all of our local families, individuals, students, and a lot of individuals that are key supporters to making our community and economy run. And so I really thank everybody for being here, for all of our other donors, and we have, we're getting closer actually to matching our appliance campaign. So continue to donate for that, and so we can get all the rooms filled with all the workable appliances, put all the doors on, and have a mailbox for them to receive some letters from loved ones. So I thank everyone for being here, and I'll let Bob close it up.
Well, as we wrap this up and the Chamber of Commerce takes over for the official ribbon cutting, in just a moment, we'll all be moving to the front door where we'll set up a ribbon. The Chamber of Commerce will lead us through with their scissors, which I've not been allowed to touch. They'll lead us through the ribbon cutting. But before you leave today, we invite you to the most important part of today, which is the open house. So please be sure to come in, explore the building. Out front, we have some giveaways, and we have cookies, and we have lemonade. Volunteers, please be sure to grab your hammer and take it with you today as a memory of what you helped to accomplish. And we have free ice cream cones, ice cream in general, from the ice cream truck, and we have some great music in store for you as well. So I'm going to turn it over to the Chamber of Commerce. Rex, if you'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to lead all of you up this narrow sidewalk. Don't step in the mud, you'll regret it. And then we'll line up in front for the ribbon cutting.
I get really excited when we have an event like this because I was raised in a construction family. And every night, my dad, my brother, and I, my mother, my dad would always discuss the project that he was working on. The good, the bad, and how he was gonna make it a great project. And at the end of every story, he would look at my brother and I and say, now boys, remember this. If you're not building something, you're not contributing to America. So what I say to all of you and Susannah, this public-private project, this is a tremendous present to America and to Valparaiso. Please, let's go up and have the ribbon cutting.